Hello and welcome to this Python programming tutorial for beginners. So we'll be using Google Colab, and it's just an online platform that lets you write and run Python code through the browser. It is particularly useful for machine learning projects because it provides free access to GPUs, graphics processing units. So you already know of the CPUs that run on computers. So the GPUs help in running tasks simultaneously, and it's very good for machine learning tasks. So it can speed up computation needed for machine learning. So getting started with Google Colab. So to do that, you can go to Google Colab using this link, sign in with your Google account, then click File, New, and then New Notebook. Or you can search Google Colab, click on the link. When you click on the link, it will get you to this page, and then you can click on New Notebook, and you should see this. Okay. So now let's start writing code. So to write our first program, we need to print, let's try printing hello machine learning to the screen. So we'll type the following code into the new cell in our Google Colab notebook. So you can click on code. To print, you need this, print this way. If you want, you can put your semicolon. So anytime I want to print, if I want to print something exactly as it is, what I have to do is put quotes and then welcome to this programming tutorial, this way. So it will give me exactly what I have written here. The same capital letter for W, the small letter for T. So let's see. Like this. If I want to print hello, comma machine learning, same thing, print hello machine learning. This way. So if I run this, it will print that exactly as I have written it. So you can add another code cell block. You don't have to write all of your code here. You can just go up to this line here right below the cell block and click on code. And you have this. So now let's understand comments. In Python, the hash symbol is used to start a comment in the code. A comment is a line of text in your program that is not executed as part of the program. Its primary purpose is to annotate the code to help programmers understand the code's functionality or intent more easily. Comments can also be used to temporarily disable parts of your code during testing without deleting it. So anytime I want to write something that's not going to execute, I'll put the hash. For example, I can write learning here. Nothing will happen if I run this. It's just for me to be able to maybe understand what I have written. So here I can put a comment and put print this way. It is not going to run. It can just simply explain to me what what my code is currently doing. And this is very useful if you're working with other programmers as well, so you can leave a note in your code for them. So now let's try to understand variables. So think of variables as containers that store data values. You can name them whatever you like. Python has several data types, including integers, floats for decimal numbers, and strings for text. Anytime I want to store something in a named location in my memory, computer memory, I can simply give it a name. So in Python, all I have to do is put the name of the variable I want to give it. So let's say I write name this way. Like this. So I have to use, if it's a string, I have to use quotes. So I can put name Z this way. So this is how to create a variable. So now we have a location in our computer memory called name, and it has the value z. So it's like putting z in a container called name. So this z is a text because of this quote. So now let's try doing this for numbers. So let's say we want to create another variable, let's say age. We can give it the value 25. So this time around it does not have quotes because we are creating a whole number. So we're storing the value 25, an integer, here in a variable called age. We can also do that for decimal numbers called floats. Here we can write height, the variable name, equals to 5.9 this way. And this is how you can create another variable. So this variable is called height, the value is 5.9. So remember when we were printing before, this way, like this. So we put in quotes this way, like this. And if we run this now, it's going to print name exactly as it is written here. However, if we want to print the value of name, what is stored in name, we should remove this quotes, like this. So print name, we have z, this way. You can do the same for age and height as well. For example, print again, age, like this. You can also separate them by commas, print height. So make sure it is spelled the same way. So here I put small letter n because this is small letter n. So in most languages, remember they are case sensitive. So if you're using small letters, use small letters when you're calling it. If I would have put capital A here, this way, I would have had to spell it this way. If not, if I left this like this, it will be different. So make sure the variables are spelled the same way. For example, most programming languages are case sensitive. So if you're using small letter anywhere, make sure you use small letter where you have used small letters. Also, make sure you check your spelling. That's a common error people may get. And so for example, I might have spelled this with 2 E's here. So here there's no other variable called name. So let's say here was like this, so this is correct. But if I would have put 2 E's this way, like this, so this and this are now different. So let's say I put 3 E's here, 2 E's here, and I run this, it's going to give me an error because namey is not defined. So because this was spelled with 3 E's while this 2 E's. So if I put 3 E's this way, it can see the variable. Also, this comma will simply just add a space to it. So you can print multiple variables on one line this way. This is one method of doing that. You can separate them by commas like this, and it will give you a space in between them. So let's go to the next topic now. So let's look at lists, dictionaries, arrays, and imports. So working with lists. So the purpose, lists store multiple items in a single variable. For example, we have fruit equals to apple, banana, cherry. So let's see how we can write this in our code. So fruits equals to, so this fruits here is a variable. And anytime you have these square brackets, it means it's a list. And in this square bracket, I can store multiple values. So instead of storing just one, like this, I can store multiple values like this. So fruit, apple. So they should also be separated by commas. So after apple, I put a comma, after banana, a comma, and then here. So the last one does not need a comma. So this square bracket means it's a list. So remember, we're also using quotes because we want a text. So anytime you're putting a text, remember the quotes. So if it was the numbers, remember I wouldn't need that. I can put 21, 20, 40. So print fruits this way. So can you see this now? Apple, banana, cherry. Let's see the next example. We also have dictionaries. So dictionaries hold data as key value pairs, which is similar to how real dictionary works with word definitions. So for example, students, I can say name is John and age is 22. And this is the way it works. So with curly bracket here, the key here, and then the value, separated by comma, the key, colon, the value. So let's put this in our notebook. We can even use this example here. So for example, we can have students equals to, remember your curly brackets. We can have name colon Z, separate them by a comma. You can have age colon 25. Sorry, remember the quotes here. So age colon 25. So remember, this is a whole number, so it does not need quotes. So let's try and print this. Students. Run it. So can you see here we have name Z, the value of name is Z. We have age, the value is 25. So that's what dictionaries are for. They can hold data as key value pairs, just like how the real dictionary works. Okay, so now let's look at arrays. An array is a data structure that stores a collection of items. In programming, arrays are used to organize data so that a related set of values can be easily sorted or searched. Unlike Python's built-in list type, which can store items of different data types, arrays typically require all elements to be of the same type, making them more efficient for certain operations. So arrays in Python can be created and manipulated using the NumPy library, which provides a high-performance array object that is central to doing numerical computations. What is import? In Python, the import keyword is used to include the code contained in another Python source file. In other words, import allows you to access and use functions, classes, and variables defined in other Python files. This is particularly useful for accessing Python libraries, which are collections of modules that include pre-written code you can include in your projects. For example, import NumPy. This line tells Python to load the NumPy library, making all of NumPy's functions and features available in your scripts. Then we also have the as keyword. So the as keyword in Python is used in conjunction with the import statement to create an alias. For the imported module, this lets you refer to the module with a different name, usually a shorter one, which is handy if you need to call it frequently in your code. So for example, import NumPy as MP. So here MP is an alias for NumPy. This means that instead of typing numpy.array to create a new array, you can use the shorter mp.array. So more explanation of NumPy stands for Numerical Python. It's an open source Python library that is widely used in data science and scientific computing. It is known for its powerful array object, but it also provides functions for performing complex mathematical and logical operations in array. You can use tools for integrating C, C++, and Fortran code. Useful for features for linear algebra, Fourier transforms, and random number generation. So NumPy arrays are faster and more compact than Python lists, An array consumes less memory and is convenient to use for mathematical operations, particularly if you have to perform operations on large data sets, which is typically in machine learning and data analysis tasks. So let's see an example of using NumPy. So we can import NumPy as NP, and to create a NumPy array, you simply call, since we have an alias NP, we use NP. Then if you want to create an array, you put .array, remember open parentheses, and then square bracket like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see this. So import NumPy. Mr. O. So if you have this, you can use the NumPy library. With this, we can then create an array. So if I put numpy.array this way, 1, 2, 3, I've created an array. So I just have the values 1, 2, 3 this way. So remember to put we can put this in a variable. So let's call this first array, and we've put this array here. So the value of this first array is 1, 2, 3. It's an array. So let's print this now. This will still give us the same thing. So here, 1, 2, 3. So remember the alias. So sometimes NumPy might be too long to write all the time. So you can put NumPy as NP. So this way you don't have to write it in full like this. You can simply just write NP this way. So same idea. Sorry, I need to run this code here. So remember, if you make changes, run the code before and then run it now. So like this. So you can also perform element-wise addition. So simply just put +5 on that array, and you can store this in a new array. So for example, here I can put sum array equals to, what did I call the first array? First array this way. So remember, this is a variable, and in this I have the value 1, 2, 3. If I put +5, so if I add 5 this way, it means I'm adding 5 to each particular value in this array. So let's try printing sum array. So print sum array this way. You will see the new value is 6, 7, 8, and that's because we added 5 to 1, 5 to 2, and 5 to 3. 6, 7, 8. So let's try creating another array. So let's say I name this variable array2 equals to mp.array 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can also create a third array from this value of array2 equals to, array2 plus 3. So now I'm adding 3 to each value in my array2. I can then print out array3. So run. So here. So my array2 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my array3 is simply array2, but each location has 3 added to it. So this is straightforward. Unlike the long method, if you know about for loops, you have to go through each location in the array and add 3. We have a straightforward way using this method. Okay. So this is a way to simply add 3. So that's all for this class. Also, another thing to note is variables do not start with numbers and don't have space. So if you want space, like let's say you wanted array space to use an underscore. So make sure you start with a letter. You can end with a letter, a number, anything you want, but they should not have space. So thank you for watching.